Good morning, guys. It is early, like really early. Okay, it's not that early. It's 7:39 right now. I do not normally film this early. For me to be sitting in front of a camera this early in the morning is rare, but I have a good reason, and that is because today I am doing a wear test of the new NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. This is their brand new foundation. This is technically not released yet. They did an early release about a week ago for Ultra Platinum members. They had a one-day thing where you could order it, and I was like, new foundation, NYX. Yes, please. So I ordered this off Ulta.com, and I'm so excited to try this for you guys. Sorry if there's noise. There is a train going through. This is why I don't film early in the morning. So let me tell you a little bit about this foundation. First of all, when this will be available, it is the 14th Tuesday as I am filming this. This is going to be available August 16th online, and then it will be in stores on August 20th. It retails for $14.99, and there are 45 shades. And you guys, I'm looking at the shade range. That's the shade range. I mean, nothing shows perfectly on camera, but that's a good shade range. I love that about NYX. It says that every creamy shade glides on smooth, delivering matte coverage and color that stays true for 24 hours. It's also supposed to control shine and mattify your complexion all day long. And it's suitable for normal, oily, combination, and sensitive skin types. It says it's lightweight, waterproof, and highly pigmented. I'm super excited to try this. I do have lightly oily skin, but it's also dehydrated, so I'm very interested to see how this works with my skin, because some matte foundations, especially all-day wear ones, can make my skin look very dry and crepey. Now, I'm not testing this for 24 hours because I don't want to stay awake that long. But I am hoping to have this on my face by about 8 o'clock, and then I'm probably going to wear this until about 9, 10 o'clock at night tonight. So that's a good, 12 to 14 hours to really, really put this through its paces. So first up, I have my eyebrows done. I have my eyes done. I have no primer on. I don't test foundations with primers because some primers and some foundations don't mix. So I know if I test it just straight on my skin, I will know how it goes. I did do my skincare this morning. I'm moisturized, but I did that about an hour ago, and I've used a very light gel moisturizer, so that is completely sunken into my skin. It doesn't feel like oily, greasy, smooth, anything like that. It feels very normal right now. Here is the bottle. I love the packaging. It's a nice glass bottle. You get full fluid ounce. Has a pump top. Thank you, NYX. The color I got is in the shade 07 Natural. Now, this looks a little dark for me, but the reason I got it is because I also use the Total Control Drop Foundation in the shade 07 Natural, and these actually look a little bit different. This looks darker, but sometimes it's hard to tell in the glass bottles. Sometimes the color can change, so it might be a little dark on me, but we'll try it. It's definitely not like the lightest shade, which is amazing because usually I'm in like one of the first 3 shades in a range, and this is like the 7th shade in the range, 7th or 8th. And that's fantastic. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and we will get started. Today I'm just going to apply this with the Beauty Blender, well, Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. It says that you can apply it with your fingers, with a brush, with a sponge, with pretty much anything, which is fantastic because I hate when foundations are like, you have to apply it this way, because I'm going to apply my foundation the way I want to apply my foundation. I'm going to pump some of this out. All right, that looks a little bit lighter out of the bottle. I did 2 pumps of this just because it's probably going to get sheared out with a beauty sponge. This shade is supposed to have a neutral undertone. It looks very yellow on me right now. I tend to have a very pink undertone though, so hopefully it will kind of balance itself out. Also, I don't necessarily mind the color being a little bit different than my skin tone because we can tell how good the coverage is. So that is pretty yellow. We'll see if it changes though. It might warm up to my skin tone and change. So far it's applying pretty easily. This does dry down very, very quickly, I've noticed. So you do have to work pretty fast with it. I'm going to add just a little bit more on my forehead and on my cheeks where I have these breakouts because these are pretty bad. That's just my skin right now though. I have been wearing medium to full coverage foundation about 4 to 5 days a week right now, which is really bad for your skin. Do not recommend. So actually after this wear test, I'm going to give my skin a break and I might do another no foundation makeup routine if you guys would like to see that. Alright, so the coverage on this is actually really good. It's not covering up those spots I have, but honestly, I never put on my foundation thick enough to cover like heavy acne scarring. I think if you do apply your foundation that heavy, that would work for that, but I tend to like foundation more for evening out my skin tone and then adding concealer for issues like under eye circles and acne and stuff like that. That way my skin doesn't look too cakey just because of the dehydration issues. My face can't handle a lot of foundation. Like there are some girls who can just pack it on and look flawless. I'm the opposite. I have to keep it light or otherwise I can look real messy real fast. Let me just grab a closer mirror and take a good look at this foundation. Ooh, okay. This helped fill in my pores, not entirely, but a good bit. It applied nice and evenly. All right, I am going to take this down my neck a little bit because my face is looking really yellow compared to my body right now. I normally don't take my foundation too far down my neck. I usually match pretty well, and I do that to avoid, neck breakouts and things like that. There we go. That looks better. And yes, I know this foundation does look really yellow on me. It doesn't look quite as stark on camera. It's probably because like my arms are tanned and like my legs are tan, but like my chest and neck aren't tan. Looking at the finish of this foundation, do you know what this finish reminds me of? My holy grail, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. This finish is almost identical to this foundation, which, to be honest, guys, is giving me some major hope right now. I really like this finish. It doesn't seem to be sinking in around my nose at all, which is excellent, or around this little smile line I've got. And believe it or not, it's actually not clinging. Like the acne I've got here is very dry. It's not clinging to those spots. Like it's covering them, but it doesn't look dry and cakey. Okay, NYX. I'm getting impressed. So I'm going to throw on some Tarte Shape Tape real quick. And like I always do when I'm doing a foundation, I'm not taking it down my face. I'm just keeping it right underneath my eyes because I don't want to affect the foundation too much. Because I think if you're testing a foundation and then you cover like your entire face with concealer, it kind of defeats the purpose. Now, I'm actually not going to set this foundation today because I love the finish it has right now. I think it's really pretty. Like it just has that light sheen to it. Not even a sheen, I don't know. It looks like skin. Like it looks like matte skin, but it looks healthy. It doesn't look like dry, which is fantastic. So I'm going to avoid setting that, and I'm actually not even going to set my Shape Tape because honestly the Shape Tape is old and starting to get really dry. I have a couple shades of it, and the shade I need for summer is like dead. So I'm not even going to set that for now. I will take a powder with me to touch up throughout the day if I need to, or if I get super oily, which I will let you know if I do touch up. I rarely, if ever, touch up when I'm doing wear tests. So we will see how the day goes. I am going to put on a little bit of bronzer and blush and a highlight just because I need some help today because I'm tired and I look tired. I'm using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, which I still have a tiny mini of because I am pale and this stuff has lasted me forever. Oh, and my favorite lazy trick that I've been doing lately is I've been using the same freaking brush for blush and contour. This is the Real Techniques blush brush. And I will just do a light bronzy contour. I don't tend to carve out my cheekbones or like highlight down here a lot because I do have a slightly wider jaw. The bone structure on my face is very defined already. And if I do too much detail contouring, I can start looking slightly skeletal and it is not too cute. I'm just throwing a little bit of bronzer on my nose and then I'm taking the exact same brush. I would only really do this during the summer, but it just kind of makes things faster and easier. And I'm using one of my favorite Tarte blushes in Entertain. These are products I have used over and over and over again, and I know how they look, I know how they wear, I know how they're supposed to sit on top of foundation. I highly, highly recommend if you're testing out a foundation for the first time or a primer for the first time or whatever you're testing out, pair it with other products that you've used before and you know like are spot on magic going to work for you like 99% of the time. And that way you can really tell how good the product is. And then I'm using my Smashbox highlight palette in Pearl and going with the lightest shade just because I don't want that much shimmer today. I know. I just don't want to affect the foundation too much, so I'm going for a light highlight. I don't like piling too much on top while I'm testing something out. So what should I wear for lips today? I change my lip color like 6 times a day, guys. So don't be surprised if my lip color changes like by the time I do my first update and like every update thereafter. So I'm going to use the Color Wear Lip Fluid by the Sem in the shade Coral. It's a coral shade. I can't remember the name of it. And it is too freaking early to try and read Korean this morning. So now that my makeup's finished, I'm going to let you know exactly how everything looks. So for right now, everything looks really good. I don't see anything going into lines. I don't see anything breaking up. It has just a nice soft finish. It looks very, very pretty. And like my skin looks very glowy but matte at the same time. Like it doesn't look oily. It's just very ethereal. So I am impressed right off the bat. Let me show you guys what time it is. Right now, my camera doesn't want to focus. But yeah, see 8 o'clock. It's 8 in the morning and I'm really, really pleased with my skin. So I'm going to wear this for several hours and then I will come back and update you guys throughout the day. I have a lot going on today. I have a ton of work to do. I have to leave the house. I have to go out in the heat and the humidity. So I will keep you guys updated as the day goes on. Hey you guys, so I'm in my bedroom right now and it is 2:01 p.m. So I came in my bedroom because I get really good light in through the window in here. And I wanted to show you guys how the foundation is doing. A lot of my natural oils have definitely come through. As of right now, I've had the foundation on for 6 hours. It's looking very, very dewy right now. But again, I did not set this with any powder. It was just the foundation, no powder at all, not even on my under eyes. I think I'm going to leave it like this for now because I do like my skin looking dewier. But if you prefer a very, very matte look to your skin, I would definitely suggest setting this with a powder or carrying powder with you for touch-ups. What I probably will do is this is okay, but it's just on the edge of greasy. So what I will probably do is before I go out later, I will blot and then go ahead and set with some powder just so that I stay matte throughout the afternoon because it's pretty warm out today. Yeah, it's 83 right now and partly sunny, so once I get outside, that humidity is wicked out there in August. So that's going to be my biggest battle. So I definitely am going to set this before I go out, and I will do that on camera for you guys so you can see what I do to touch up foundation so that it looks as good and fresh as possible. But other than that, the coverage still looks really, really good. There's no creasing in my nose. I do have a little creasing right there on that little tiny smile line right there because anytime I talk or move my mouth at all, any foundation I use goes into that line, like any foundation at all. So that's very, very normal for me, but it hasn't gone into the lines of my forehead. It hasn't emphasized them a whole lot. Everything's still looking pretty good. It still looks pretty even. And if you look at my face compared to my neck and chest, the colors actually changed a tiny bit, warmed up with my skin, and started looking slightly less yellow and more neutral, which is really, really good. That makes me happy. So yeah, this is my 2 o'clock update. I will probably talk to you guys around 4 o'clock-ish when I go ahead and touch up. It is 4 o'clock right now. Why does my phone keep doing that? 4 o'clock, well, 3:56, but very close to 4 o'clock right now. And I feel like literal death. I am exhausted. I've been up since 5. I am running on like no energy. Hello, second giant cup of coffee, like size of my head, is gone. I think if I have a third one, like I'll be risking like getting too anxious. So I don't want to have any more coffee, but I'm tired. I'm really tired right now. However, can we talk about this foundation? I've had this foundation on my face for 8 hours now. It looks like I just put it on. Okay, so I'm bringing you in really close because I want you to see this, and I need to like look up close in my mirror too. Remember the update I did at like 2 where I said I was getting a little bit oily? You can see I'm a tiny, tiny bit oily, but barely. I do have where it did sink into one line on the side of my mouth. It has not sunken into my forehead lines though, at all. Otherwise, it looks fantastic. It's not breaking apart. It's still on my nose. It's still on my chin, which we all know is a miracle. It like hasn't moved. Even though my skin looks very dewy right now, the foundation hasn't moved. What I am going to do though, I have to leave the house in about an hour and a half, and it's hot out. It's like really hot out. So I do want to blot and set my face with some powder and some finishing spray just to make sure that it stays in place through my evening, just because I'm not going to sleep for a while. I really want to go to sleep. I want to take a nap right now so bad. You can see it's just holding up beautifully. Like, this is amazing. And I love that my natural oils were able to come through without it separating the foundation. Because some foundations, if you let your natural oils come through, it will make your foundation look cakey and disgusting and like lumpy and just not cute. This hasn't done that. It almost looks like I put like a glow spray, like a glow setting spray on my face, but I haven't. So I'm amazed. Oh, sorry my eyes are so red, guys. I've been taking time off contacts just to give them a break because of allergies, but I do have my contacts in today, and my eyes are not happy, and I'm like, well, you're just gonna have to put up with it till we get home tonight. I'm just going to use a piece of tissue to blot my face. I do have blotting paper, but a tissue works just as well for a quick blot before powder. There is a tiny bit of foundation coming off. Just a little bit though. Normally, I would just let the foundation go as is for the rest of the day. But with the heat and the humidity outside, I just want to make sure that everything is good. And just cleaning up underneath my brows, because after 8 to 10 hours, my mascara likes to transfer. Yay, oily skin. Okay, so a tiny bit foundation came off, but really, like, not much at all. Like, that little spot, that's from, like, underneath my brow bone. So everything looks much nicer. So to go ahead and just kind of set this and help it last that little bit longer, I'm using my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores pressed powder. Normally I do not add powder and do touch-ups when I do foundation reviews. I'm only doing it this time because I've already worn this for 8 hours and it's like flawless. So I'm just using a very small amount of powder. I'm just setting the areas that get oily. I'm just very lightly buffing in a tiny amount of this powder. I don't use a lot of powder because my skin just doesn't like it. I'm kind of working around where my blush and contour are because they are still going fairly strong. My blush has faded a little, but not too much. Just very lightly on my forehead. All right, so I am nice and beautifully matte again. I only took a tiny bit of powder to get there, and I'm going to go ahead and set this with the Urban Decay setting spray because, again, it's hot, it's sweaty, it's gross, and my face does just look a little dry. So I want to kind of allow the powder to melt into the foundation, and this helps a lot with that. Oh, so sad. I'm almost out. I need more. I need to get more. Alright, setting spray is all done, and this is how my skin looks. Like, this is amazing. Like, this looks like freshly applied foundation. That is what's blowing my mind more than anything, is it looks freshly applied. It doesn't look old. It doesn't look like it's been on my face for 8 hours. Not at all. So I'm very pleased with this so far. I'm gonna let you guys go now. It's about 4:06 right now. Did that pretty quick. And I am going to go about my day, and I will probably do a quick check-in when I'm outside later this evening and give you guys kind of a full sunlight, or it'll probably be golden hour. It should probably be around sunset when I'm doing that. But anyway, just give you guys an outside update, and yeah, I will see you then. Hey you guys, right now it is 7:36. I'm just doing a quick update. I'm actually out at a football field right now because apparently this is like my new life lately. I just wanted to do a quick update on my foundation. It still looks like it's doing really good. It's hard to tell because I don't have a mirror, so I'm just kind of trying to tell in my viewfinder, but it doesn't look like anything's creasing. I've been wearing my sunglasses and it looks like a tiny bit rubbed off onto my sunglasses, but honestly, I didn't really put the foundation up here. This is all Tarte Shape Tape, and it's seriously, you can see I look exhausted. It looks like my concealer has actually worn off before my foundation. So I'm sorry the lighting isn't great out here, like the sun just went down and stuff, but yeah, my concealer's worn off, but my foundation actually still looks pretty good. When I can get home and take a good look in the mirror, I will do another update, my final update, and give you my full results on this foundation. But for now, I'm really liking it. It's starting to look a little rough now, but that could just be me because I look exhausted. So I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Hi you guys, it is 9:43 at night. Yeah, it's late. I actually tried filming this final check-in earlier, but we have an ice cream truck that drives through at like 9 o'clock at night and plays La Cucaracha around the neighborhood. It drives me insane. Like, I wouldn't mind it if it was like at 7 o'clock, but 9 is ridiculous. This is my final check-in for the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. I've been wearing this since 8 o'clock this morning. It is 9:44, like I think I just said, because I'm exhausted. I've been wearing this foundation for almost 14 hours now. That's a long freaking time to wear a foundation. They say that it's supposed to provide matte coverage for 24 24 hours. I touch my face a lot, so my foundation will probably never ever last that long. And I really don't want to wear foundation for 24 hours because I think 14 is enough, and I'm probably going to have very mad skin in the morning. So I'm going to zoom you guys in so we can take a closer look. Now, I have not touched up my foundation since 4 o'clock, right before I went out for the night. Well, I can tell my mascara is transferring to my upper eyelid because that happens at the end of the night. I have a tiny bit of creasing around my nose and a little bit in that smile line. Thankfully, there is no creasing in my forehead, which is amazing. Very, very happy with that. I can tell it has worn off on my chin, around my nose, and on the tip of my nose, and on my cheeks right here a little bit. You can see some redness peeking through. It looks like it's still pretty good on my forehead and the rest of my cheeks, though. I do, you know, blow my nose, I eat, I do normal human things, so it makes sense that this area would start to lose coverage after so many hours. 14 hours is a long time to push your foundation. Other than that, it still looks really good. It definitely has sheared out quite a bit. My skin has more glow now since when I put the powder and the finishing spray on at 4 o'clock. But I was out in 85-degree heat for about 2 hours in full sunlight. So I definitely, there's oil coming through there, so that is very, very normal. But to be honest, looking at this foundation, you guys, you know how my Wet n Wild Photo Focus is like my holy grail go-to foundation? This is amazing. Usually by this time of night, my photo focus would be completely broken up on my chin, completely gone on my nose, like entirely gone. And it would make my forehead look very, very crepey. But everything looks really, really good right now. I'm impressed. And I'm hard on my products, so I'm really, really impressed with this foundation. I am amazed. It's starting to look a little bit rough, but honestly, for about the first 8 to 10 hours of wear, it looked freshly applied, and that is huge, especially on my skin, because usually a matte full coverage foundation on me looks pretty rough generally, just because my skin tends to do better with slightly dewier foundations. And if I put a matte full coverage on within 4 to 5 hours, usually I'm looking kind of tired, kind of rough, a little dry. Not with this. It looked freshly applied for hours, which is incredible. So I'm a huge fan of this. Again, it is $14.99 for 1 fluid ounce. This is being released on August 16th. That is tomorrow on Ulta.com, and then on 8/20 in stores, I believe. Though I've seen some things that say it's going to be released in stores tomorrow as well. But I'm not sure because both of that information has come from like Ulta and NYX, so I'm not sure which one is right. So you'll have to go and check. But huge fan of this. It is definitely worth the price. It's a little bit more expensive than their Total Control Drop Foundation, but this is way better than the Total Control Drop Foundation, in my opinion. It wears better, it goes on better, it has better coverage. I really, really like this. Like, I am just insanely impressed, like amazed. All right, so I would definitely recommend, if you're in the market for a new foundation, going and checking this out. Maybe swatch it in store and pick it up. I did notice that this is a neutral shade and it did run a little bit yellow, so if you do have very pink undertones, I would suggest going for one of these shades that does have pinker undertones. You can actually go on the Ulta website, and if you click on each swatch, it will tell you what the shade is and what the undertone is, which is really, really helpful. Oh, and just in case you guys didn't catch it in the beginning of the video, obviously I bought this. The only reason I got it ahead is because I'm an Ulta Platinum member, because I spend a stupid amount of money at Ulta every year. I didn't get it sent to me, though I would love to be on NYX's PR list, to be completely honest. Not gonna lie. Would totally love that. I think NYX hit it out of the park on this one. Just amazing, guys. So I hope that you guys found this review and wear test helpful. I hope it was helpful for you to see it as I applied it, and then in different intervals and different lighting situations throughout the day, and then again at the way later than I was planning on end of the day as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell thingy down below to hopefully get notified when I upload. And if you don't want to get notifications, just know I upload every Wednesday and Friday, unless something happens and I can't upload, but it's mostly Wednesdays and Fridays. If you have any questions, comments, or just want to say hi, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. And you guys can also keep up with me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. I am pretty much everywhere, and all those links are down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye.